In Gretna, Scotland, birdwatchers observed a flock of starlings executing intricate maneuvers and patterns in the sky.
They're going down.
It's fascinating to see how starlings move together with such coordination. Sometimes the flock stretches out, covering the entire tree line, then tightens into a dense, dark mass. Occasionally, a few hundred birds swoop down into the trees, likely searching for enough food for the group. Seeing such a display above your house can be awe-inspiring, reminiscent of Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. This phenomenon is known as a murmuration, where hundreds or even thousands of starlings fly in synchronized patterns. George F. Young from Princeton University found that each bird responds to the movements of just 7 nearby starlings. These 7, in turn, coordinate with their neighbors, propagating the pattern throughout the flock. This behavior is thought to help protect against predators, retain heat, and signal rich feeding areas. Controlled bridge demolition is a fascinating and intricate engineering process that involves safely dismantling bridges that are either no longer safe or need to be removed for new construction. For example, on October 22, 2023, a bridge was demolished at the Wuppertal Nord motorway junction in Germany. The bridge, built in 1968, was 18 meters high and 131 meters long and required 90 kilograms of explosives. While watching a controlled bridge demolition can be spectacular, it's important to do so from a safe distance. Authorities usually set up viewing areas far enough away to ensure the safety of spectators. Just to clear things up, the Flash is a made-up character from DC Comics. he's not real. Or so my physics teacher would remind me when I'd argue that physics isn't always right. But if you saw this video, you might start to think differently. It looks just like a scene from a superhero movie. A somewhat busy road, a distracted cyclist, and a guy with incredible speed. Just as the cyclist is about to get hit by a truck, this super fast guy swoops in from nowhere and saves him. They both end up on a different part of the road, leaving the cyclist and truck driver baffled. So, maybe my physics teacher was wrong. Sure, the Flash is usually just a character in stories, but maybe he's inspired by someone real. If we ever find that person, we'd have a real superhero team on our hands. Wouldn't that be something? In 2001, Jim Mills, a Christian youth group leader, took kids on a backpacking trip in the Marble Mountains of Northern California. They found a strange shelter made of plants and saw broken branches and claw marks on trees.
We noticed claw marks as we look at the trees and stuff.
Things got even stranger when they noticed a very tall figure walking down a ridge, seemingly getting more upset as it approached.
It's kind of looking at us.
I don't see it.
Moving now.
The trees?
The kids and Mills thought it was Bigfoot because of its long arms and unusual walk.
We're definitely not going to shoot him.
The footage didn't get much attention until 2011, a year after Mills had passed away. On February 2nd, 2024, a major ice calving event took place at the Pareto Mareno Glacier in Argentina, drawing global attention. A large section of the glacier broke off and crashed into Lake Argentino, creating a dramatic visual and auditory experience. The calving produced a thunderous sound and a huge splash, which was captured by those observing the event. The Pareto Mareno Glacier is unique for its balance, neither advancing nor retreating much, and is a popular tourist spot due to its impressive ice front, which reaches up to 60 meters, 197 feet high. These calving events enhance its appeal by providing a stunning natural display. The glacier and its surroundings are closely monitored for environmental impact, particularly how they affect water levels in Lake Argentino, and are part of a protected nature reserve, underscoring the importance of ongoing conservation efforts. The video you're about to watch is both perplexing and bizarre. It almost feels as if something fundamental has malfunctioned in the universe. It's the perfect example of what many might call a glitch in the Matrix. In Ghana, something so unusual happened that a driver felt compelled to stop his vehicle and get out just to record what he believed was an utterly inexplicable scene. The video shows what looks like a huge waterfall coming down from the sky in one spot. An old story says that when rain falls like this, it means God is nearby, which sounds a bit off. But if that's true, then God must really like Ghana. Some people think the video is deceptive and that the water is actually from a big pipe underground that burst, sending water shooting up. I'm not here to decide what's true, so it's up to you to decide. But maybe, just maybe, God wanted to give these plants a good watering. On August 5th, 2011, a calving event occurred at Sawyer Glacier in Tracy Arm, Alaska.
Fireworks. Oh, look at that.
During this incident, large chunks of ice and debris flew towards a nearby spectator boat, causing injuries to some people on board.
Oh.
The event, captured on video, underscores the dangers of watching Glacier calving up close.
Are you okay, honey? Okay. All right, don't freak out. It's okay.
Hold on.
Okay, here goes fast. Safety check on every pass.
Get a blanket.
Get on it.
While these events can be spectacular, they are highly unpredictable and can be very dangerous. The kinetic energy released can propel ice and water through the air over significant distances. What happens when the ground starts bubbling in your suburban backyard? In the summer of 2021, after heavy rainstorms hit Livingston County, Michigan, a local father named Mr. Corcoran discovered what he described as a massive earth pimple in his yard. Equipped with his reliable yard tools and steady balance, he demonstrated to the world the intriguing process of popping an earth bubble.
Out over here.
How does that even happen?
Are you recording that?
Yeah.
Look at that. Woo.
Corcoran jumped up and down on what he called an earth pimple in his yard, mimicking Dr. Pimple Popper. After a few strong hits, he managed to puncture it, releasing a gush of muddy water. So, what exactly was going on in their backyard? It turns out this natural occurrence is known as a lawn blister. Lawn blisters happen when water accumulates underneath the grass, essentially turning the area into a waterbed that you can bounce on. This event is essentially a minor form of flooding. For nearly 50 years, the towers of the Chimney power plant were a prominent feature near Edinburgh. Thousands of people gathered to watch the controlled demolition of these towers. A local resident won the chance to press the detonation button through a raffle. Before the event, a demolition expert explained the necessary precautions and procedures to the resident. When the button was pressed, the demolition began. The twin towers, each 149 meters tall, were carefully rigged with explosives. Each tower had 150 holes drilled and filled with explosives. As planned, the towers fell toward each other when detonated. The power plant, built in 1967, operated until 2013 and generated up to 150 terawatt-hours of electricity each year. With the towers now demolished, passengers traveling by ship to Scotland's capital will see a different view as they approach the city. In 2012, YouTuber Beardcard and his friends were camping in Provo Canyon, Utah, when they came across some deer. Intrigued and wanting a closer look, they ventured nearer, but as they approached, they spotted something unexpected.
I can't see it.
At first, they thought it might be a bear due to its appearance, so they cautiously maintained their distance. The footage, partially hidden by branches, initially showed what seemed to be bear-like. However, the shape suddenly stood upright, resembling the legendary Bigfoot more than a bear.
It's too close to it, huh? Oh, cool though. Let's go.
Startled by this imposing figure, the campers quickly decided to run away from the area. Andrew Hooper and Josh Bastier were kayaking in Alaska when a huge piece of a glacier collapsed into the lake in front of them. They narrowly avoided being capsized by the massive wave created by the falling ice.
Holy! We survived, but that was insane. We were soaking wet. Yeah, we were soaking wet. And we were obviously way too close. We knew that going into this. Our wife told us not to get close, but that was probably the coolest thing that I've ever done in my life.
Fortunately, they managed to escape unharmed. Pablo Morales from Burbank, California, and his companions witnessed something extraordinary in the sky that they believe was Jesus. While spending time outside with his friend and wife, they saw what appeared to be a human-shaped figure descending slowly from the sky and eventually landing on Earth. Initially, Pablo thought it might be a cluster of balloons, but none were found nearby. Given the proximity to an airport where drones and balloons are banned, this seemed unlikely. Without any clear explanation for what they saw, the figure moving through the sky left them mystified. Pablo, his wife, and their friend are all convinced that they saw Jesus.
Is that Jesus Christ? Please.
The footage of the event is quite compelling, and no other plausible explanations have surfaced, especially given the timing of the sighting at night. The Pareto Mareno Glacier in Argentina, famous for its dramatic ice calving events, recently saw large chunks of ice breaking off and crashing into Lago Argentino. Known as the White Giant, this glacier is a major tourist attraction in Argentine Patagonia. It stretches about 18 miles, 30 kilometers long, and ends in a steep wall that regularly calves into the lake. These calving events are a natural part of the glacier's cycle of growth and retreat, driven by the pressure of the advancing ice and melting at its edge. On March 31st, 2019, a large part of the Breiðamerkurjökull Glacier in Iceland collapsed into the lagoon below. This type of collapse, known as calving, is common for glaciers that end in water. Such events are dramatic and highlight the natural processes of glacial ice. They are valuable for scientists as they show how glaciers react to environmental changes and remind us of the changing nature of our planet's icy regions, especially with global warming. What you're about to see is footage from a national TV news broadcast in China. It shows someone randomly filming when, suddenly, a mysterious figure appears out of nowhere, with blue lights glowing from their chest. The person recording is stunned, chases after the figure, and tries to get more footage, but then, the mysterious person seems to teleport and vanish. There are lots of opinions on this, but we'd like to hear what you think. During a test of the landing gear on a Boeing 777, the tires exploded because of the high heat from the plane's brakes. Even though the test ended dramatically, it was considered a success. This kind of testing is important to ensure that the landing gear can handle extreme conditions and still work safely. These tests are part of the strict safety checks that aircraft parts go through before they are approved for use. The tire explosions from the brake heat show that the test was meant to push the landing gear to its limits and see how it would perform under tough conditions. In 2013, the Sasquatch Genome Project, SGP, held a news conference in Dallas, Texas, to present what they claimed was evidence proving the existence of Sasquatches.
We've all had experiences that have changed our lives. I mean, literally shook the foundations of what we believe in.
This group had dedicated 5 years to gathering and analyzing footage, including clips from the Erickson Project. Among their presented evidence were videos of what appeared to be a juvenile Bigfoot walking through a forest, and another clip supposedly showing a sleeping Sasquatch. The SGP had invested a substantial $500,000 into this research.
They say they also have DNA proof of Bigfoot's existence.
Was the hefty investment worth it to prove the existence of Bigfoot? Opinions varied. While the SGP and its supporters believed they had made significant findings, skeptics criticized the effort. They argued that the analysis lacked solid scientific grounding and that the best images produced by the SGP were too dark, grainy, or otherwise inconclusive to serve as definitive proof. On March 15, 2022, the Pareto Mareno Glacier in Argentina experienced a dramatic collapse. This glacier, a popular tourist spot in Los Glaciares National Park, is known for its impressive changes. Unlike many glaciers, Pareto Mareno is stable and doesn't advance or retreat much. The calving events at this glacier can be particularly striking because of its large ice front. These events sometimes create and then break ice bridges across the lake's Rico Arm. They draw many visitors and are important for studying how glaciers change, especially in the context of global climate change. In the 1980s, while working for the U.S. Forest Service, Paul Freeman claimed he encountered an 8-foot-tall Bigfoot. He took plaster casts of what he believed were the creature's footprints, which some experts later suggested could belong to an unknown species.
4 little tracks here.
Motivated by this experience, Freeman committed himself to obtaining concrete proof of Bigfoot's existence. A few years later, in the early 1990s, Freeman was filming in the woods near the Blue Mountains in Washington when he discovered more unusual footprints, which he also cast. During this outing, as he ventured deeper into the forest, Freeman recorded what he claimed was a Sasquatch in the distance, seemingly undisturbed by his presence.
Oh, there he goes.
Suddenly, he exclaimed, "There are actually 2 of them."
There's 2 of them, I guess.
This incident, captured in what is now known as the Freeman footage, has been hailed by many as definitive proof of Bigfoot's existence. Tourists were shocked when a glacier collapsed near their boat. A huge piece of ice, about 200 feet long, broke off from Sawyer Glacier in Tracy Arm Fjord, Alaska.
Danger, danger, danger! Holy crap! Whoa!
The collapse sent ice chunks flying toward the tourists, and a woman was injured, breaking her leg in the process. The video you're about to watch is considered one of the strongest pieces of evidence for real-life teleportation or time travel. In the clip, a car suddenly appears out of nowhere and stops, causing another vehicle to also appear suddenly and get in the way. Many people believe the video is completely genuine, but what do you think? You can't even imagine how drastically the view will change in just a moment. It's a total catastrophe. This might be what an apocalypse looks like. A dramatic iceberg collapse happened in Disco Bay, northwest Greenland. This event is part of how icebergs naturally break off from glaciers and fall into the ocean. It began with smaller pieces breaking away and eventually led to a huge splash that looked like an explosion. These events are not only visually striking, but also important for studying climate change and glacier behavior. The footage helps us understand how icebergs act and the environmental factors affecting them. In 2013, while hunting in the swamps near Tunica, Mississippi, Josh Highcliffe was waiting for dusk, camouflaged and alert for signs of hogs. However, his attention was drawn to a different sound. Investigating, he came across a large, black, furry creature crouched near a tree. It appeared to be either stripping bark from the tree or digging at its roots, possibly in search of truffles. When the creature stood up, Highcliffe was so alarmed that he quickly left the area. Highcliffe was convinced that what he saw was not a bear. He believed he had encountered a skunk ape, a term often used interchangeably with Bigfoot, referring to a similar cryptid reputed to inhabit the swamps of the southeastern United States. On September 10, 2023, Ulrika Mathis from the Thuringian Blasting Company carried out a controlled demolition of a 170-meter high chimney at Leipzig Stadtwerke on Arno-Nitsche Strasse. Around 100 kilograms of explosives were used for the task.
Das steht
This demolition was a key step in the site's transformation, clearing the space for future development and new uses. You have to decide if you're on Team Miracle or Team Fake for this story. In 2019, a video that spread across social media showed Pastor Alf Lukau from Alleluia Ministries allegedly bringing a dead man back to life during a service. The supposed dead man was in a coffin, taken out of a hearse as a large crowd watched. A woman, claiming to be the man's landlord, said he fell ill, coughed severely, was hospitalized, and died in her presence. During the service, after prayers from the pastor, the man suddenly sat up in his coffin, eyes and mouth wide open. Many of Pastor Lukau's followers called it a miracle, completely shocked by what they saw. However, skeptics on the internet have their doubts. Some suggest the pastor might have paid someone to pretend to be dead to appear miraculous, and others questioned why the man's eyes and mouth weren't closed as typically done by funeral homes. So, what do you think? Was it a true resurrection? Or just a well-orchestrated hoax? The world was stunned by CCTV footage from a mall in Cilandak Town Square, South Jakarta, Indonesia, showing what looked like an angel appearing. In the grainy black and white video, the bright figure was clearly visible and vanished as quickly as it appeared, seeming to fall from the sky. Many people immediately believed it was a divine miracle and could be nothing else, especially since 4 figures quickly moved toward where the figure landed. However, some experts on video aren't convinced it's an angel. They've noted a few inconsistencies that might indicate a hoax. For instance, the mall's reflective floor should show light reflections from above, but there's a missing reflection where the figure lands. Additionally, despite the figure's intense brightness, it doesn't light up its surroundings. A visual effects expert from Hollywood also pointed out that there should be high contrast shadows on the building behind the figure as it moves, but these are absent. Some people might think that videos of people freezing in place could be staged, but it's a different story when animals are involved since they can't be easily directed to do so. There's a video where someone came back to their apartment and found a dog completely still in the hallway, as if frozen in time. The person filming walked around the dog to get a better view, and the dog didn't react at all. It looked lifeless, frozen mid-walk with its tail up, and ears perked as if it was listening to something. Just as the person started to worry and thought about finding the dog's owner, they reached out to pet the dog. The moment they touched it, the dog snapped out of its stillness and continued walking. Was this a simple glitch in reality that needed a reset, or was there another explanation for the dog's immobility? It's a mystery that might remain unsolved. In June 2007, a dramatic event took place in Alaska when a glacier calving caused a massive ice wave, sometimes called an iceberg tsunami. This incident was filmed from a nearby boat, capturing the sudden and intense nature of the event.
We're fine. We're okay. We're good.
I can't even shoot. I lost my heartbeat. Holy!
Oh my God! It's fine, guys. It's okay. Relax. It's fine.
Get down, Jeff. Get in.
It's fine.
Right down into the boat. Oh.
It's okay. It's not. By this time, it'll be fine. Look at it. It's okay.
Sit down.
Just ride it out. Oh,
this isn't a good thing.
It's fine.
It's okay.
No, we'll ride. This is nothing. This is small.
This is nothing?
It's fine.
Right over it.
Yeah, we'll ride on the road. It's nice and smooth. It's okay.
Get down. We're okay.
See? You're fine. You're fine.
Oh, cool.
Oh God, oh God.
All right. We're fine.
Serious.
Oh, my God. Where are you there?
Chris is swimming towards the ship.
Nice going right on. Oh, never tried anything like Chris, we're going to buy you a drink.
A lake like that can never crash.
Yeah.
All right.
There has to be a rock for it to break on.
Look how the face of the thing has changed.
The video shows the unpredictable behavior of glacier calving and the risks of being too close to such events. This occurrence highlights the immense power of nature and the dangers of being in areas with active glacier calving. Security camera footage caught a bizarre incident that's hard to explain logically. In an empty office, a glass desktopper suddenly shattered into pieces without any obvious reason. One moment, the glass was sitting quietly among the vacant chairs and office gear, and the next, it exploded, sending sharp pieces flying across the desk. The strange video gives off vibes of something supernatural, or maybe a fault in reality itself. What natural force could cause a piece of glass to break apart like that when there's nothing and no one nearby? The longer you watch the video, the more unsettling it gets. However, scientists have come up with a reasonable explanation that removes the mystery. They suggest that a quick change in atmospheric pressure in the enclosed space made the glass expand quickly until it shattered. This change in air pressure would be too subtle for anyone to notice, but strong enough to break the solid glass. This kind of thing happens, like when pipes burst in the winter because of temperature drops affecting the air pressure. While it's not as exciting as hauntings or reality breaking down, this logical explanation eases concerns. But could that really be all there is to it? There have been numerous reports over the years about a Virgin Mary statue in Akita, Japan, displaying human-like signs of suffering, bleeding, sweating, and crying. Investigations have suggested that the fluids are human, though they obviously couldn't originate from a statue. Accounts from the early 1970s describe blood flowing from the statue's hands, with wounds resembling cuts on human flesh. Later, the statue reportedly began to sweat, emitting a fragrance similar to roses. By 1975, it had started to cry, attracting national attention in Japan. The crying continued intermittently until 1981, totaling 101 episodes. It's challenging to verify these occurrences, but the phenomena of a statue crying, bleeding, and sweating would indeed be miraculous if true. When you're crossing the street, it's crucial to look both ways to avoid vehicles. But what if there's an unseen danger? A 2017 security video captured a baffling incident that seems straight out of a paranormal tale. In the footage, a man wearing an orange shirt is seen walking down a street. Nearby, a woman exits a building to cross the road. Suddenly, both individuals turn around almost simultaneously. Shockingly, the woman is then violently pulled backward into the road by an unseen force, landing awkwardly on her neck and rolling over. Miraculously, she manages to sit up. The man in the orange shirt rushes to help her, and both are visibly confused about what just happened. Some viewers of the video speculate that a cable or string from a passing lorry might have snagged her, but no such object is visible in the footage. Additionally, there's no equipment visible that could have orchestrated this scene. This leaves people wondering whether this was a paranormal event, or perhaps did she avoid an intended accident only to suffer a related mishap due to her change in direction? The exact cause remains a mystery. In June 2012, a tourist boat in Greenland narrowly avoided disaster when a huge wave, caused by a glacier breaking apart, surged towards them. The incident happened near Ilulissat, known for its active glaciers. As the glacier calved, it sent a massive wave toward the boat carrying tourists.
Are you alright? Ama ay. Tunay na.
A helicopter is seen working just fine, even though its blades are spinning really slowly. The person filming the video seems just as surprised. The footage, taken in the woods of California, shows an amazing moment. A helicopter hovers in midair before landing, with its blades moving at a very slow speed. Most people find it hard to believe. saying the helicopter should have fallen out of the sky with such slow-moving blades. It looks like a real-life glitch in the Matrix, because it's surprising that the helicopter could still land safely with blades turning that slowly. After the video was released, a lot of theories popped up online. Some think the blades were actually spinning faster than they looked, while others commend the pilot for landing the helicopter smoothly, even with the blades seeming to malfunction. What do you think? For Ivan Lucci and his friends, what started as a carefree drive through the city quickly turned into a nightmare when a strange figure appeared out of nowhere. Barefoot and charging at them with unnatural speed, its eyes glowed an eerie green. Lucci hit the accelerator, but the creature matched their speed, appearing right at the driver's window like a scene from a horror film. As the creepy video spread online, theories abounded. Some suggested the man was high on PCP, a drug known for causing intense delirium and bursts of destructive energy, but could a drug really turn someone into a superhuman? Skeptics questioned if any drug could enhance physical abilities to such an extent. Others thought it might be a trick of the light, attributing the glowing eyes to a camera effect. Still, the figure's extraordinary speed and endurance were hard to dismiss. The real cause is still a mystery, and the video remains a chilling record of that unexplained event. To many viewers, the figure seemed paranormal, a demon, ghost, or monster hunting them. Yet, there might be a more rational, though still unusual, explanation for this eerie encounter. Whatever the case, the memory of the glowing-eyed figure will likely linger with Lucci and his friends for a long time. We've got another intriguing case of something stuck in midair, and this time it's even more baffling. A plane. Yes, an actual aircraft appears to be suspended in the air, not moving forward. This scenario clearly challenges what we understand about physics because, under normal circumstances, if a plane isn't moving forward, it should fall. Yet, here it is, seemingly hovering. Some speculate that the plane could be experiencing unusually strong headwinds, which might be powerful enough to counteract the thrust of the engines. However, considering the immense power that plane engines typically have, this explanation seems a bit far-fetched. How could winds be that strong without causing other noticeable effects? As of now, the true reason behind this bizarre aerial standstill remains a mystery, and we might never get a clear explanation. It could be some extraordinary meteorological phenomenon, or, as I prefer to believe, perhaps something even more outlandish like an extraterrestrial force at play. Blast fishing is banned in many places because it uses explosives to kill or stun fish, making them easy to catch. Despite this, a group of poachers in Lebanon on the Mediterranean Sea went blast fishing. They used a large LED light on their boat, shining over the water. The video shows one of them throwing a lit explosive into the sea. When it explodes, a bunch of fish jump toward the LED light, many landing in the boat, possibly thinking the light was safe. The poachers quickly and eagerly filled their boat with fish. On July 3, 2022, a tragic event unfolded at Punta Rocca on Marmolada, the highest peak in the Italian Alps, when part of the glacier collapsed and caused a deadly avalanche.
Pezzo di ghiacciaio. Cazzo. È terribile. Un pezzo di ghiacciaio. Cazzo. È terribile.
Record high temperatures had intensified the glacier's melting, triggering the collapse. The avalanche resulted in at least 6 deaths and 10 injuries. In response, all hikers were swiftly evacuated from the mountain to prevent further risks. Videos like these are why we've become skeptical about believing everything we see online. Even with what seems like undeniable evidence, our trust is diminished because someone might just edit an image to create something spectacular, like an angel in the sky. These angels often appear too perfect and mystical, not blending naturally with the surrounding clouds as you might expect. Instead, they stand out sharply and unnaturally. Many comments on such videos often express disbelief, suggesting they aren't real. While some might see these videos as miraculous, the vast majority of viewers are likely to dismiss them, thinking that can't be real. We live in a time where the climate is constantly changing, and the weather patterns we see today are very different from those of the past. Although the scientific community generally agrees that human-made pollution is the cause, could they be mistaken? Is it possible that what we're seeing are glitches in the matrix? This video taken by tourists in Italy showcases just how odd the weather can be and how it can vary greatly even within a small area. Look at this street. Do you notice anything unusual? A storm had passed over the city, yet it only started raining in this particular spot. There's no sign of rain anywhere else except here, where a puddle has started to form. They looked up to try and identify the cloud causing this, but it was too dark to see anything. Watching the road, it was evident that rain was hitting this spot hard, splashing as it struck. Despite many efforts to find an explanation, no clear answers were found. It seems we may just have more evidence of an unintentional glitch in the system. Sumedang is a small town in West Java, Indonesia, known for its proximity to Mount Tampomas, a 5,500 feet stratovolcano that's popular for climbing. While the locals usually worry about eruptions, earthquakes, and typhoons, tornadoes were never a concern until February 21st, 2024. On that day, a record-breaking tornado hit Sumedang with a scale never before seen in the country. Here's a look at what it was like to be in the middle of it.
Allahu Akbar, astagfirullah. Ya Allah, astagfirullahaladzim, ya Allah, astagfirullah. Tanginya kak, iya tuh.
This unusual storm caused widespread damage in Sumedang and nearby areas. At least 30 people were injured by flying debris and collapsing structures. The local government reported that over 800 families were affected, with 18 factories and 233 homes damaged or destroyed. Fortunately, no fatalities were reported. Prior to February 2024, Indonesia had only experienced small tornadoes, which caused minor damage but nothing on the scale of this record-breaking storm. If you're someone who doesn't believe in ghosts, watching this video might make you think twice. In an office block in Manchester, UK, a strange event was caught on camera, showing objects being thrown around by an unseen force, even though the office was empty. At first, everything seemed calm and quiet, but then suddenly, a chair was tossed across the room. Moments later, computers turned on in the middle of the night, and a door started rattling as if someone was trying to get out. Many people believe these odd events were captured inside what's known as Manchester's most haunted office building. When the video was shared online, it sparked a lot of reactions and comments. Many viewers said that a ghost must be responsible for the eerie happenings, coming out every night when no one else was around. Others thought the video was just staged to get more likes and reactions. What do you think? Could it be a ghost? On December 17, 1996, employees at the Seminole Finance Company in Clearwater, Florida, noticed a large, unusual stain on their building's glass windows. The stain, which was 60 feet tall and 20 feet wide, remarkably resembled the Virgin Mary. After a photo of the stained glass was shared online, the site quickly attracted over 500,000 visitors, and eventually, that number grew to millions. Many religious devotees believed the glass was a miraculous sign. However, most glass experts thought the metallic coating on the glass had simply corroded, though they couldn't explain why it formed the shape of the Virgin Mary. Mike Chrismanic, the building's owner at the time, felt it was a sign of divine intervention. He transformed the building into a religious shrine, eventually selling it to the Shepherds of Christ, a Catholic ministry. The ministry renamed it Our Lady of Clearwater, installed a wooden crucifix next to the stained glass, and converted the second floor into a rosary factory. Interest in the stained glass diminished over the years, and in 2004, the image was largely destroyed when a teenager fired at the glass panes. The damaged panes were replaced with standard glass, and bulletproof glass was installed to protect what remained of the Virgin Mary image. Talking about things that shouldn't walk but seemingly do, let's discuss trees. Now, aside from Groot, who's an alien species from a fictional universe, trees don't typically stroll around. But a man in Maryland claims to have captured footage of a tree wandering through his neighborhood. Understandably, this claim met with plenty of internet skepticism, even though he provided footage to support his story. So, the real question is, can we believe that this tree was actually walking? There are numerous ways to create the illusion of a walking tree through video manipulation or other tricks. If this footage is genuinely capturing a tree moving on its own in nature, it would feel like we're seeing a major glitch, or even a collapse, of the Matrix. Do you think this tree is moving by itself, or is there some human trickery at play? And when I say manipulated by humans, I mean physically moved, not philosophically misled or emotionally played with. Though now that it's mentioned, can a tree be gaslighted? What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Inanimate objects should stay put unless something acts on them, right? This might be another case of glitches in the Matrix where things don't act as expected. Sometimes, it seems like the only force that could be interacting with an object is coming from outside our usual understanding, which seems to be the case here. The video starts in a building in Mexico, filmed by a security guard at night after he heard some odd noises. He believes he's alone, yet the strange sounds persist. He enters a room set up for a lecture and focuses on a black chair in the top right corner. Suddenly, the chair moves by itself. There are no open windows, no air conditioning, and no other people around. What could be causing this? As he gets closer, the chair moves again, this time more noticeably, as if someone were sitting in it or about to sit. Understandably, the security guard leaves quickly before anything else strange occurs. On New Year's Day, 2024, a powerful 7.6 magnitude earthquake hit the western coast of Japan, particularly affecting the Noto Peninsula in Ishikawa. Many locals were at home celebrating the public holiday when the earthquake occurred. One family had their camera recording when the quake struck. Not only did the family capture the earthquake on camera, but they also filmed a small landslide. Fortunately, their house withstood the shaking, but many others weren't as lucky. Around 26,000 people were displaced due to damaged or unsafe homes. The situation worsened with rain and snow, causing landslides on already weakened ground. Over 1,000 aftershocks kept the area unstable for more than a week. On the Noto Peninsula, a 10-foot tsunami hit coastal homes, and a fire destroyed part of Wajima City. According to the USGS, Japan has more earthquakes than any other country. This video that's gone viral shows a man easily picking up the back of an 18-wheeler truck. It first popped up on social media and shows an unknown man lifting the heavy truck's rear end, moving it a few feet sideways, and then setting it down again, all without any visible effort. The truck, when fully loaded, can weigh more than 80,000 pounds. The record for the heaviest lift by a person is 1,104 pounds, which is nothing compared to the weight this man seems to handle. Yet, he lifts this huge weight as if it's nothing. Some people think he might have been in a state of extreme adrenaline, which can give someone burst of strength, but he looks calm and collected in the video. So, what's the explanation? Is it just clever video tricks? Something out of a sci-fi movie? Or is it showing us the untapped strength we might all have? For now, the answer isn't clear, and the secret behind this amazing strength show remains a mystery. In 1967, the most famous Bigfoot footage was filmed along Bluff Creek, a part of the Klamath River in Orleans, California. Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin, who were enthusiasts of the Bigfoot legend, were there to shoot a fictional movie about finding the creature while riding on horseback. However, during their shoot, they claimed to have accidentally captured genuine footage of a female Bigfoot. In the footage, the creature not only walks by, but also turns to look directly at the camera. This brief encounter sparked widespread public fascination. Both filmmakers staunchly defended the authenticity of the footage, insisting they had documented real evidence of Bigfoot's existence. However, skeptics dismissed it as merely someone dressed in a gorilla suit. During a protest in New York City's Central Park, which was attended by thousands, everything seemed normal in the aerial footage shown on local TV. But later, when one protester was reviewing their own video, they spotted something strange. As they moved their camera across the crowd, they briefly captured a dark, wispy figure on the edge of the protest. At first, it looked like someone in black waving a flag. However, a closer look revealed odd details. There was no pole visible for holding a flag, and the shape didn't show any human features like arms or legs. It moved as if it were a flag fluttering in the wind. Confused, the person posted the video online and sent it to local news stations, hoping for an explanation. After enhancing and slowing down the footage, one analyst commented, "That's no flag. I don't know what it is, but there's definitely no one holding it." So far, nobody has been able to figure out what the object was or come to any agreement on what was seen in the video. It took months to build the one 200-ton wind turbine, but it collapsed in just a few seconds. The controlled demolition of the turbine at the Haltern AV9 wind farm last week went as planned, following strict safety precautions. Nanny cams are now common globally, as people use them to monitor their nannies and household members. Similarly, it appears that ghosts and glitches can also be caught on these hidden cameras. A family from Highland, Michigan, suspected their home was haunted and set up a camera to capture any unusual activity. In the footage, there's noticeable movement in the background. On closer inspection, it looks like a human-like figure. According to the family, the only other person in the room at the time was their baby, visible in the crib near the camera. Something clearly startles the baby, causing her to react to the odd occurrence. Could this suggest that children are more sensitive to detecting eerie presences or glitches in the matrix than adults? Imagine going outside to play and finding a whole woolly mammoth. Pretty amazing, right? It would definitely make show and tell exciting. That's exactly what happened to a young boy in Siberia, Russia. He found an almost completely preserved 30,000-year-old mammoth carcass. Everyone was shocked to learn he had found the entire right side of a male mammoth, weighing about 500 pounds. What made the discovery even more incredible was that one of the mammoth's tusks was also intact, making it easier to get a good DNA sample from it. A passenger on a flight to Edinburgh on a Q400 plane had an unexpected visual experience. While looking out the window, they noticed something odd. The plane's propeller seemed to be frozen in place. Captured using their Google Pixel phone, the propeller appeared stationary until the passenger moved the camera up and down. Suddenly, the propeller started spinning again, as if it had never stopped. It seemed almost like they could manipulate the laws of physics with just their camera. This intriguing effect was due to the high frame rate of 60 FPS on the Google Pixel, which created this optical illusion. Even experienced travelers were puzzled by this phenomenon. It's a reminder that sometimes reality can trick our eyes, creating moments of wonder and surprise. So, the next time you're on a plane, keep an eye out. With the right camera settings and a little imagination, ordinary moments can turn into something truly spectacular. Do you believe in ghosts? Or could what people think are ghosts actually be glitches in the Matrix? There's no denying that many videos capture what seem to be ghostly figures without any clear explanation. Consider this security footage as an example. A woman was returning to her car after shopping, walking through a snow-covered street. As she passes in front of a white car, a faint outline of a person appears in the video. She doesn't see it, but it's clearly visible on the footage and stays visible long after she leaves. Things get even weirder when a car drives down the street and passes the spot. After it goes by, the ghostly figure vanishes and can't be seen anymore. What do you think is going on here? How does wind actually work? This might sound like a basic question, but a video we're looking at might just challenge our usual understanding. In the footage, you see a tree reacting to wind, its leaves visibly moving. But here's the twist. When the camera pulls back, none of the surrounding trees or their leaves are affected by the wind at all. It's puzzling how wind could selectively impact just one part of a tree while leaving everything else around it calm. This scenario doesn't have a clear explanation, making it seem like a glitch in what we perceive as natural behavior. Something we thought we understood behaves this unpredictably. It begs the question, what else might not be as it seems? Could this be fuel for conspiracy theories? In this video captured by a dashboard camera, a curious event unfolds. A white car cautiously approaches a busy junction, navigating through cars, moving in various directions. It waits for a clear path before making a right-hand turn. Just as everything appears normal, the driver suddenly slams on the brakes. Another car swirls around them, narrowly missing a collision. Watching the video again reveals something odd. There's no trace of the other car until the very last moment. It's unclear where it came from, as there's nothing visible on the other side of the road. This kind of maneuver is made by millions of drivers daily. However, in this instance, what seems like a glitch in the matrix nearly led to a serious accident, emphasizing the importance of staying vigilant while driving. Get ready to be stunned by a video showing two cars seemingly levitating in the air on a busy road in China. Sounds incredible, doesn't it? The video spread quickly online, sparking a variety of wild explanations. Some viewers guessed that a dramatic loss of gravity in the area, possibly linked to a natural disaster in Taiwan, caused the cars to float. Others suggested that such bizarre events might happen more often due to increasing seismic activity. However, the truth behind the video is less mysterious. It was actually a creative hoax. The video was posted on a YouTube channel named Eastwood Westwood and titled "New Cars Levitate in China. Shocking." But a closer look raises some doubts. The video lasts only 9 seconds, and the distant angle of the filming hints that the person recording might have known what was going to happen. Additionally, sharp-eyed viewers pointed out some inconsistencies. The zebra crossing lines disappear right before the second car lifts off. The tires of the cars look unusually thin when airborne, and their shadows mysteriously vanish. These odd details led to further scrutiny. After gaining traction online, officials looked into the video and confirmed it was a fake. It turns out the video was just a regular street scene altered with some clever CGI to make it look as if the cars were defying gravity. This serves as a reminder that in the world of viral videos, not everything is as it appears. Another car vanishes, but it's not a unique event. These disappearances are common in what might be a false reality. Perhaps a video game controlled by aliens or the creation of a wild imagination in another dimension. In this video, a car is driving along a snowy road, the scene set like a Christmas postcard, but then the unexpected happens. Gradually, the car starts to fade. It seems to be swallowed by the snowflakes and disappears completely without leaving any trace. This disappearance is different from others. This time, the car doesn't vanish instantly, but fades out slowly, as if it's being erased line by line. In an intriguing video from Japan, what looked like a fleet of unidentified flying objects floating in the sky turned out to be a visual trick. Initially, it seemed there were several small ships floating under a huge pillar-shaped main ship, sparking speculation about extraterrestrial activity. The video caught the eye of many, fueling excitement and curiosity about this supposed otherworldly encounter. However, the real story behind the video came out later. It was actually a sophisticated CGI creation, not a real UFO sighting. The people who made the video used advanced computer graphics to create a realistic illusion of a UFO fleet and a giant spaceship. This sparked a lot of interest and got people talking. While the reveal might have let down those hoping for real alien footage, it highlighted how CGI can make fiction seem almost real. It makes you think about how future videos might blur reality even further. So, even though the UFOs and the massive spaceship were just digital creations, the video is a reminder of how easily artistic skill can turn fantasy into something that looks convincingly real. In 2007, hunter Rick Jacob installed a trail camera on a tree in the Allegheny National Forest in Pennsylvania to capture wildlife footage. However, when he reviewed the footage, he was surprised not by the usual forest animals, but by an eerie image of a strange, gorilla-like creature that crossed the camera's view. Believing it could be significant, Jacob sent the image to the Bigfoot Research Organization, which suggested it might be a juvenile Sasquatch. However, this interpretation wasn't universally accepted. Representatives from the Pennsylvania Game Commission examined the photo and proposed a more mundane explanation. They thought it depicted a bear suffering from a skin condition like mange. Valu, a man from Ipoh, believes he's been cursed by black magic. 3 years ago, he developed a strange condition, causing his head to tilt sharply downward, hiding it below his shoulders. From behind, he appears headless, which has led to people calling him the Headless Man of Ipoh. His condition went viral after videos surfaced online, leading to unwanted fame and pleas from him for people to stop sharing the footage. Despite seeing many doctors and undergoing numerous tests, no medical explanation has been found for his condition. Frustrated and without a medical solution, Valu is convinced that he's suffering from a curse. In his culture, such curses are often believed to bring about unexplainable illnesses. While modern medicine has failed him, he hopes that a traditional healer or shaman might be able to remove the curse and restore his posture. For now, he continues to live with the curse, bearing the heavy burden of his unusual appearance. This video is a clear example of a glitch in the matrix. A man walking through the woods noticed something strange and quickly pulled out his phone to record it. When the video was posted online, it raised questions about a possible alien invasion. Many people were shocked, especially since the UFOs in the video seemed to be accompanied by 2 fighter jets, making it look like a conflict could be about to happen. The most surprising part was the bad energy felt on the road right after the UFOs passed by. While some found it hard to believe without seeing it for themselves, others were skeptical and thought it might be staged. But if you're unsure about the existence of aliens, this video might make you think twice. It hints that aliens could be out there somewhere, maybe just waiting for the right time to come to Earth. What do you think? Do you believe in aliens now? Share your thoughts in the comments. This might just be the quickest fishing ever recorded. These fishermen are pulling in fish over 20 pounds as if they're nothing more than paperweights. You can see the effort it takes as they wrestle to lift them from the water to the boat, but it happens so fast it's almost hard to catch the struggle. The fishermen cast their lines, and almost instantly, as soon as you could shout "fish," a fish is on the line. It's quickly yanked up and slung over a shoulder into the boat, and then they're casting again. Would you ever dare to ride a bike or get in a car with the Invisible Man? If he existed, it seems like a surefire way to attract police attention, and explaining that your driver is just invisible probably won't get you out of a ticket. There's a video circulating that supposedly shows an invisible man driving a bike. When I say actual, I mean it's assumed because it's hard to explain how else a bike could be controlled so precisely without someone at the front. Surprisingly, the footage appears to show a guy sitting on the back of the bike, positioned sideways, as the bike moves on its own. It's hard to believe there isn't an invisible driver involved. Some might say the guy on the back is controlling it, but that seems nearly impossible. This video seems to defy the laws of physics, leaving us without a clear explanation. If the Invisible Man is real, what's next? Vampires? The internet is buzzing about a new conspiracy theory after a viral video showed a plane in the sky that seemed to be frozen in time. The video, posted by TikToker Tanya Draws, captured a plane that appeared to be hanging motionless as she drove through Chicago. As the video gained popularity, Tanya suggested it might be a glitch in the Matrix, noting it wasn't her first time seeing something like this in the Windy City. The video quickly racked up millions of views, sparking many comments from people sharing their theories. Some joked that the plane was just waiting at a red light, while others thought it might indeed be a glitch. Amid the jokes, some commenters tried to explain it scientifically. They suggested it could be parallax, where the position of an object seems to change based on the viewer's perspective. They explained that because Tanya was driving in the opposite direction of the plane's movement, it looked like it wasn't moving. Terms like motion parallax and optical illusion were thrown into the mix, making the discussion sound more scientific. Although the mystery of the stationary plane is still unsolved, it's clear that the internet loves to dive into these kinds of intriguing phenomena and conspiracy theories. Whether it's a real glitch, an optical illusion, or just a strange coincidence, the fascination with the unexplained always sparks lively discussions online. In 2012, Craig Sulk set up a trail camera on his property in Monoman, Michigan, primarily to watch for deer. But when reviewing the footage, he spotted something unusual, a strange, primate-like figure hidden among the trees, appearing to stalk prey. Convinced he had captured an image of the legendary Sasquatch, Sulk sent it to the TV show Finding Bigfoot, which he enjoyed watching. The show featured an episode on his discovery, and even news programs covered it. Inspired by Sulk's image, many viewers reached out to share their own encounters with the mythical creature. Sadly, Sulk passed away from cancer in 2021, but his impact on the Bigfoot community remains significant. Recently, films like The Woman in the Window and The Girl on the Train have set a trend, and it seems we've got another intriguing story to add to the list, but with a twist. In a place called Medabad, locals have reported seeing a bizarre sight, a woman in a tree. But this isn't just any sighting, people are claiming she's a ghost. The rumors started with stories of a woman wandering the jungles, which soon took a supernatural turn as sightings of her perched at the top of a tree began to surface. Initially, when these reports reached the police, they wrote it off as an optical illusion. However, as the sightings persisted and even police officers began to witness the phenomenon themselves, their skepticism waned. The timing coincided with an investigation into a missing girl, leading some to speculate that the figure in the tree might be her. Whether this is a real person or something else, we can't say for sure. So, what do you think? Is this the world's most well-balanced ghost, or is there another explanation? From a distance, this dog looked like just a head without a body. The person filming, Joe, started recording this odd scene on his phone when something even stranger happened. The video shows the dog seemingly transforming into a cat. What seemed like floppy dog ears turned into large cat eyes right in front of Joe. Fortunately, Joe caught it all on camera. So, what exactly was going on? Various theories have been proposed. Some people think Joe found a cryptid, a creature that can change its shape into different animals at will. Others argue that Joe edited the video to make it look like a transformation for internet fame. Some more scientifically inclined individuals think it was just an optical illusion, similar to a desert mirage, where heat causes the air to make things appear differently, possibly making a cat look like a dog's head. The video sparked a lot of debate online. Was it a hoax, a newly discovered species, a simple trick of the light, or something paranormal? While some dismissed it as fake, others believed it was evidence of something supernatural. As the video spread, the cat's actual owner identified their pet and tried to explain, but not everyone was convinced. Some still believe that a shape-shifting creature was caught on camera that day. In a city in China, a beam of light lit up the night sky, causing a lot of speculation. This event was recorded over a residential area in Heilongjiang province. The video captured a bright dot with a yellowish glow, followed by what seemed to be a trail of flames moving across the night sky. The person recording was amazed and shouted, "Look at that big flame." The light show lasted about a minute and a half before it disappeared, leaving everyone wondering what it was. Did it burn up completely, or did it just go back where it came from? As the video spread online, people started guessing. One person wondered if it was a UFO, while another suggested that aliens were visiting Earth. While these ideas about aliens were fun to think about, experts had a more realistic explanation. They thought it was likely a fireball or a very bright meteor that could be seen even during the day. The head of the local astronomical society said that although it looked like something from another world, its slow speed made them think twice. He mentioned, "We need to look into this more." He also suggested that it might be space debris, like parts of a spacecraft or other man-made objects falling back to Earth. So, while it's exciting to think about space and aliens, the experts are still trying to figure out exactly what this impressive light was. Some fishermen off the coast of Stewart in North Florida are out hoping to catch Goliath groupers. One of them gets into a kayak and hooks something massive. He soon realizes it's a shark, but decides to try and reel it in. The shark, however, has other plans and puts up a fierce fight. It thrashes around, eventually capsizing the kayak and throwing the man into the water. He quickly swims back to the safety of the larger boat, where his friends help him aboard. He's laughing, though it's a bit hysterical. Despite the ordeal, the fisherman is undeterred. He gets back into his kayak and continues the struggle, eventually managing to reel in the huge shark still hooked on his line. This fisherman's determination is truly something. We often like to think of ourselves as action heroes, but realistically, humans can be quite inept. Sorry to say, but we're often not very effective. Occasionally, though, someone does something extraordinary that makes you reconsider. Take Jasmine Lacey, for example. She was driving a stolen Hyundai Sonata downhill when she abruptly stopped, jumped out, and walked away as the car continued down, eventually crashing into a tree amid oncoming traffic. Reflecting on it, this isn't a display of competence. Actually, it's quite the opposite. Despite her actions nearly causing multiple accidents, Jasmine wasn't charged due to insufficient evidence. It's bizarre how she just walked away casually from the chaos she caused, without even attempting to flee the scene, just casually strolling off like nothing major had happened. It's quite the scene to imagine. There's nothing quite as scary as seeing a huge fish jump out of the water towards you while you're out fishing. Before you even have a chance to figure out if it's a shark or something less dangerous, your heart races. This quiet fishing trip is suddenly disrupted when a large barracuda leaps from the water and flies straight into the boat. The barracuda thrashes around, likely regretting its bold jump as the shocked fishermen try to manage the situation. The whole surprising incident is caught on camera, with one man visibly startled as he turns to see the barracuda flying towards them, landing almost as if it was aiming for the boat. A woman named Sarah is fishing from a small dock on a North Carolina beach. She's thrilled to have caught a bass and is carefully reeling it in when suddenly a shark jumps out of the water and snatches the bass from her line. Sarah and her friend are initially terrified, with Sarah yelling in shock. However, their fear quickly turns to excitement as they try to reel in the shark. The unexpected moment when the shark leaps from the water, clearly a surprise to everyone, is caught beautifully on film. The video ends with them attempting to reel in the shark. A dam in Norway has partially collapsed, marking one of the most significant dam failures globally. The country is facing record-high river levels, flooding, and landslides after a deadly storm. Norwegian police considered detonating the dam when water from the Guano River started leaking from the Fresco da Fossa hydroelectric power plant. This incident follows the powerful storm named Hans, which has wreaked havoc across northern Europe. The storm has led to widespread flooding and landslides in southern Norway, with river levels expected to keep rising through Thursday. Floodwaters have swept away a mobile home, and some residents have risked their safety to film the dramatic flooding. At least 1,000 people living near the river have been evacuated, and over 600 were evacuated from areas north of Oslo. The situation in southern Norway remains unclear and chaotic, according to police reports. The massive Ajax avalanche near Telluride, Colorado, was a controlled event conducted by avalanche experts to mitigate the risk of a spontaneous avalanche. The operation involved setting off explosives at Ajax Peak, a practice that's become a necessary safety measure in mountain areas prone to avalanches. This particular avalanche was triggered on February 12, 2024, and it was a spectacle that attracted the attention of onlookers from nearby downtown Telluride. Such measures are standard to prevent catastrophic avalanches and ensure public safety. Heavy rainfall from the Yangtze and Chief Lakes has led to severe flooding in China. The floods have destroyed 22 bridges, damaged over 15 kilometers of highways, and turned thousands of hectares of farmland into swamps. The flooding, caused by extended heavy rains affecting much of China, prompted emergency services to evacuate nearly 20,000 people from the affected area. The disaster also caused a dam near Jiangsu to collapse, and several other dams are in critical condition, with 2 at imminent risk of failing. While Chinese media reported no casualties from the flooding so far, the full extent of the damage is still being evaluated. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can stay updated with our latest videos.